Oh, look, another glorious podcast. Makes me sick.
So welcome in to the movie pick. I don't know how to say this. Thank you, Tia, for that marvelous introduction.
You are welcome.
Yes. So remember, if you ever have any ideas or any thoughts, you can send them to the movie pick at AOL.com. This is Dave. With me is my wife and my spouse, Tia.
Isn't wife and spouse the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I've been told to do a better job of introducing prepositions as to what people are.
Okay.
So, yes, or what they are to me. So, I should say my friend or my son or my daughter or my wife. So that way, should not assume that people know things about me. But if you were thinking about today's movie is Hocus Pocus.
And happy Halloween.
Yes. So when this comes out, it should be about, this should come out about 4 days before Halloween. So hopefully you get to listen to this beforehand. But if you were thinking about Halloween movies, what month would you think that this movie was released in?
I'm going to say September because that gives plenty of people time to watch it before the actual holiday.
That would have been the smartest move. This movie came out July 16th, 1993.
So it didn't pump people up about Halloween?
So we'll get into some of the reasons why that this movie came out July 16th. But what I thought would be interesting, because we've already done the top 5 for 93. We've already done the World Series winners for 93. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go with the top 5 Disney movies for 93. And they're the top 5 money makers is what I mean. Top 5 at the box office. And I'm not going to make you guess them. I'm just going to tell. I'm just going to tell you those. So number 5.
Can I throw a guess out there?
Yeah, of course.
So, Aladdin.
Aladdin was number 1.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Aladdin was number 1. And it was somewhere. Here's our early fact check that I'll have to do. It was somewhere in the top 10, I think. I think it was like number 8 for the year. But so number 1, we'll go in the number 1 to 5 order.
Okay, because I already put it out there for you.
Yeah. Do you have any other guesses as far as what the other top 5 would be? 93?
No, because all the ones that are coming to my mind are like really early, like your Cinderellas and your Robin Hood that I can't get past. And I know those are
like 50s and 70s. But actually, I think that Snow White was one of the top 5 for 1 year that I looked in, because they would do a lot of re-releases.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say that's like Disney's first.
Yes, yeah. Disney did tons of re-releases.
She was the original Disney princess,
and I want to say it was somewhere in the 30s when that movie came out. Another fact check already. So yes. So number 2 was Cool Runnings, the John Candy Jamaican bobsledding.
So I just watched that this last year and it cracked me up. And I'm pretty sure it's a true story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's based. I don't know how true it is.
I don't think the characters are real, or those particular guys that they gave character names to, but the story is.
Yeah,
real.
The story's real. Yeah. It's a great John Candy movie. Number 3 is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So
Evie's favorite.
So we got 2 what would now be Halloween classics that came out 3 months apart, because it came out in like September or October.
And that's the one that just keeps on giving, because it's Halloween and Christmas.
Exactly. Number 4, this one gets forgotten about a lot, is The Three Musketeers with Charlie Sheen and I want to say Kiefer Sutherland.
I think I've only seen that once.
Okay, I'm going to try to finish it out. Oliver Platt and Chris O'Donnell. I think those are the main.
I do remember Chris O'Donnell.
Because he was like the musketeer that wasn't part of their main 3, but he was trying to be a musketeer or something.
The only musketeer that I've seen is Barbie, Three Musketeers.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Okay, well, you're missing out.
No, I think I'm good. But this movie did not even top the top 5 Disney movies.
Did you do number 5, though?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Number 5 was Homeward Bound.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, a great one. I love that movie. That was a Michael J. Fox. Anything with Michael J. Fox, you will learn on this podcast. Anything with Michael J. Fox, I love. This movie was number 34 for the year. So as far as overall money makers, this was number 34.
That's actually higher up than I thought it would be.
Yeah. What would your first memories of Hocus Pocus be?
Okay, I think, once again, this is, you said 1993. So I'm only 6.
She just counted on her fingers.
I did. Because I'm like a 6-year-old. So I'm 6 years old at this time. So I can't tell you like what age I first watched this, but I definitely loved it. Yeah. It stuck with me. Oh, you know what? Okay, so when I was young, my mom introduced me. She gets another shout out, of course. I was obsessed with the movie Beaches. Let me be really clear about how I'm
another Bette Midler. Yeah.
Beaches,
yeah.
Beaches, another Bette Midler, and we were obsessed with her at that point. So I think my mom introduced me to Hocus Pocus after she introduced me to Beaches because I loved it so much.
And that would make sense. I mean, I've never seen Beaches, and I do like to expand my movie horizons. I like to see movies and types of movies that I've never seen before. But I have zero interest in Beaches. I'm just going to be...
Well, I'm going to introduce it to our daughter because she's the wind beneath my wings.
You can do that, but and I'm not even saying that like in a humor. I have zero interest in ever watching Beaches. It's just never appealed to me. It's a movie that like I can tell you who all was in Three Musketeers, and it's not a movie I've revisited in 32 years. Beaches, I have no idea besides Bette Midler who was in it. It's just one that if it's on the screen, I just scroll right past it. No offense to Bette or Beaches.
What was your first memory of Hocus Pocus?
So, for whatever reason, when I think of it as watching it as a kid, I think of Billy. Because I
the zombie.
Yes. He was just my favorite character in the movie. And I remember I had a crash test dummy action figure that I would play with like he was Billy because the head could come off. So, like I would play with my toys and the crash test dummy would be Billy, like in the scenarios. Because anytime I would watch a movie, I would play either act, like I talked about it with Karate Kid, like the see it and want to be it movie.
Yes,
like
and you did not want to be one of the 3 witches.
Yes.
Who can I relate to in this movie?
Yeah.
You didn't want to be Binks?
No, I had no interest in Binks. I did like the cat. I mean, I thought the cat was cool. I still think the cat's cool. But I just always liked Billy. I remember renting this and watching it at my parents' house, and I really liked it from the beginning.
Your Blockbuster days?
They were, yeah, that would have been Blockbuster. That would have for sure been Blockbuster.
Okay.
But this movie was like a slow burn movie. Like it was one of those movies that built up over time. Like it wasn't, it was number 34 that year. But now when you think of like Halloween movies, and especially if you think of like classic family Halloween movies, it's up there in the top 3 or 4, I would say, as far as family Halloween movies.
Bette Midler talked about that in an interview that I saw recently. Because I'm old, I saw it on Instagram and not places like TikTok like everyone else. I waited till it came out on Instagram.
Right.
But she did an interview and she talked about how it was a flop when it first came out. And, it wasn't until later that it got popular.
Right. And that's what I mean. I mean, now, some of the things, and I even have this in here, why do we think it got more popular over time? Holiday movies, any kind of holiday movie, gets an automatic bump in popularity.
Yes.
Like if you release a Christmas movie, it's going to get watched a little bit more just because it's a Christmas movie. Like Fred Claus is not one of my favorite Vince Vaughn movies, even though I love Fred Claus. But I've seen Fred Claus as much or more than any of his movies. Does that make sense?
Because you're looking for Christmas movies.
Yes.
Kind of like when you pop on the Disney Plus or you pop on the Netflix and it was like, hey, let me show you some Halloween movies.
So it gets like an annual reason to revisit it. Like there's a yearly reason around Groundhog Day where you're like, you know what? I should watch Groundhog Day again because it's Groundhog Day. So, I mean, like movies like that get that like reminder in your head, like, oh, it's this time of year. I should watch this again. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a 9 out of 10 comedy. But even with that, I probably wouldn't watch it every year. But the fact that it's a Thanksgiving movie, I watch it every year at Thanksgiving, every year. And so like, I think that really helped it build up over time just because it is one of those movies where it's like, okay, every year around Halloween, I need to watch this with my kids,
But why did they not release it around a holiday?
So there is a reason they did not. So Disney made Nightmare Before Christmas, and Disney also made this movie.
They didn't
Hocus
want them
Pocus.
to compete against
They
each
did not
other?
want them competing against each other. They chose Nightmare Before Christmas as their bigger.
Did they feel like it had a better shot, or did they flip a coin?
Yes, they felt like it had a better shot. So they went with the movie they thought would do better, and they kind of, I mean, like this movie. I mean, it had, I think, like a decent budget. I didn't look at, like what the budget was. But the special effects are okay for 93, like some of the lightning stuff. I mean, I'm saying for 93.
Yes, for 93. When she like does her powers and is like, doing them on Max and stuff, like it makes me cringe a little.
Well, now it's like, watching a Disney home movie, like a Disney TV movie. Like that's the special effects level. But for then it was okay. And, they did have some decent actors in it that they were paying. I mean, Bette Midler,
yes,
I'm sure demanded, not demanded in a bad way, but like I'm sure that when she walked up, like there's a certain paycheck you have to do just to get her to do the movie.
Yeah, and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes. Yeah. So sorry, yeah. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah. Wrong three, Sarah. But and then the other, is it Kathy Najimy?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say her name. But all three of them, I'm sure, came with like a certain amount of money that had to be paid. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. So there was a budget for this movie, and probably a decent budget, but they did not invest in this movie the same way that they did Nightmare Before Christmas. And not to say that they were wrong.
Had a great costume budget. That's where they put some of it. I like it.
They did. Because Nightmare did great. And it's just as big of a Halloween classic as this movie. Like if you're talking about like overall, both. Yeah. I mean, we went to a store the other day and there was like 40 different Nightmare Before Christmas.
But they were Christmas things, not Halloween things.
They were. But I'm saying like that beefs up the, the amount that Nightmare Before Christmas, because it can appeal to both Christmas and Halloween.
Nightmare Before Christmas is not going to scare your children, where Hocus Pocus might a little.
Right. Now, ABC, I don't know, Nightmare Before Christmas, the Oogie Boogie guy can
Oogie Boogie was a little creepy.
Yeah, he can get a little creepy. Also, another thing that bumped this movie up, so ABC Family. When I was, I don't know when they started this, I think like late 90s. Man, third fact check already. But late 90s is when I think that they started the ABC Family 31 Nights of Halloween, or like, I think it started.
It was of Christmas.
I think it started with 13 Nights of Halloween.
Yes.
And then it went to 31 maybe. And then, they still do the 25, and it may just be the 13. I don't know. But they featured this movie prominently.
This and Addams Family.
Yes. Addams Family, Nightmare Before Christmas was a big one. Beetlejuice was a big one. But when you've got like, they only would have like 10 movies that they would show over and over and over again for these specials. I mean, they do the same thing with Christmas, but this was one of the movies that they showed over and over and over again. So it was like a bump up maybe. And I heard an interview with Vanessa Shaw and Omri Katz. Vanessa is who played Allison, and Omri Katz is who played Max. Okay. And they talked about how the reason they felt like it got bumped up in popularity was like maybe 10 years after it came out, that the people like myself or like you that watched it as a child, they were starting to introduce it to their kids.
Nostalgia.
Yes. So they started introducing it to their kids. You had the ABC Family bump up. You had the annual reason to revisit. There's a lot of reasons. And it's just a fun movie.
Yes.
But
I do feel like we need to preface to our listeners, most movies that you do on here, you can watch with your family through VidAngel. Mm-hmm. This is a movie that you cannot watch through VidAngel, as it is a Disney movie, and Disney does not allow VidAngel to do that. So I just want to preface that for parents. It talks a lot about the Virgin lighting the black flame candle.
Yeah, different things like that.
Opens up a conversation that you may not be ready to discuss.
Yeah, and so on the VidAngel thing for just a second, to give them a plug, so they should be paying me by now. So on the VidAngel thing, like you can't use it on any Disney movies or Fox movies. Like those are for sures that are not on the VidAngel platform. But again, any questions about that, you can email me. So going into this movie though, the director's name was Kenny Ortega. And
killed him off.
Yeah, he's still around. But the only movie he had directed before this was a movie called The Newsies, which
the musical.
I guess so. Was it a
Okay.
musical?
Yeah, Newsies is a musical.
Okay. I don't follow musicals. But he directed Newsies the year before this. But now I guess it was the movie version of the musical. Does that sound right?
Yes, I've never actually seen it.
He did the movie.
Okay.
He did the movie.
I've never seen the movie is what I mean.
Yeah, this was his second movie. He had done a ton of choreography work like in the 80s. So he did like choreography for Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dirty Dancing.
What do you mean choreography?
Like for any acting scene, like there's choreo, like where they need to stand and where they need to move. And if you think about like Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller, even though they're not like music movies, there was dancing. Like, Ferris, there's a big scene at the parade where they're dancing at the...
And Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm thinking of 16 Candles.
Yeah. And Dirty Dancing, there was obviously a ton of dancing. Dirty dancing they were doing. But so going to the cast, Bette Midler as Winifred.
Crushes it.
She does. And this is by far my favorite role of Bette
Probably
Midler's.
the only one you've ever seen.
No, she was in Get Shorty.
Okay.
That had John Travolta. It was like a mid-90s. It was a funny like mob movie, but him like going and wanting to take over Hollywood or wanting to become a Hollywood producer. But Bette Midler was in it, and so I've seen those two. Okay. But I've actually not seen that many of her movies, like we said. So for me, I know she's a big deal.
But I think you could get past, like, even though you're not a big Bette Midler fan, you were able to get past the fact that it was Bette Midler because
I don't
you enjoyed
dislike
the
her.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't like seek out her movies. Or
No.
But like, you got past the fact that it was her.
Yeah. No, I didn't. And I didn't even really
good
have
acting.
to get. Yeah, I didn't have to get past it necessarily because I know she does a great job in this part. But
all of them do. All three of them.
The thing I didn't understand, and I still don't understand, and it's not that I don't think she's great at what she does, but I've never understood why she's such a big deal. And maybe you can explain that to me.
Oh, she's big in the musical world.
I know.
That's for sure.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a Broadway gal.
So like people that love musicals are going to love Bette Midler. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm not aware of that. Like all I know is Bette Midler's this big deal, but I never knew.
She's more of a theater gal.
Okay. I got you. I didn't know that. So then you've got Kathy Najimy.
She's Lebanese.
Is she?
I don't know
how to say it.
Yeah.
As Mary. So she was the other sister.
Didn't she have like a 90s or late 90s sitcom?
I don't know. I knew her from this and Sister Act.
Oh yeah, Sister Act, of course.
Yeah.
But what was the show? Oh, it's gonna bother me so bad. The girl that did the movie with Tim Allen where they lived with the Amish.
Oh, I never saw that. I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of her name, but she was on a sitcom.
Had Kirstie Alley.
Yes,
yeah,
it was a Kirstie Alley sitcom, and she was her assistant.
Gotcha. Yeah, I never saw it. The thing that I thought was such a disservice to her is they make her so unattractive in this movie.
She goes for it.
She does, but they just make her so.
Do I get to bring in my fun fact here?
Well, hang on,
Okay.
But they make her so unattractive in this movie purposely, and she's actually a very attractive lady.
Yes, she is. And since then, she's lost a lot of weight since then.
But I'm just saying, like, she's actually a very attractive lady, and they purposely, like, do her mouth thing and all that stuff.
Well, they make Bette Midler unattractive, too. Look at those teeth they gave her.
That's true. And then you have the third one, Sarah Jessica Parker, as Sarah. We knew her from this, Family Stone, which is one of, we watch that movie just about every Christmas. And Footloose. I mean, she's probably
in Footloose?
Yeah. Out of the three actresses of the sisters, she's probably the one that I've seen in the most movies.
Well, and she's obviously the most well off and well known because of Sex and the City.
Yeah, which I've obviously never watched that show. Wasn't even going to bring that one up.
Well, that's
sorry,
what she's
listener,
known for.
edit that out.
That's what she's known for.
But so yeah, I mean, those are the things that, and this was a crush for me when I was like, 9 or 10 when this came out.
Who wasn't having a crush on Sarah?
Well, and what's funny is like any other movie I saw her in though, it's not that I ever thought like, oh, she's, I never thought she was ugly or unattractive or anything like that, but I never was like, ooh, Sarah Jessica Parker. But in this movie, there was something about.
It was the power of persuasion because
Maybe.
they wanted her. Sometimes they say that brides, pick ugly bridesmaids so that they're more attractive. And I think that's one of the reasons that Bette Midler or Winifred and Mary are a little less attractive is to, bump her up some,
Awesome.
Sarah up some.
Yeah.
And, even Billy, her Winifred star-crossed lover, I mean, he had an affair with Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite character.
Yes.
I don't know that he was ever even with Winifred, was he?
Yes, it was.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
She just thought that he liked her or something like that. I thought they addressed that in the second one. There's another fact check. But so Thora Birch as Danny, the little sister.
Wonderful job.
Yeah, she did a great job in this. She was in a bunch of other movies. Vanessa Shaw with the most interesting spelling of Vanessa. It's Vine instead of Vane.
We just love it when our mothers pick unique spelling.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Taya. But this was the last theatrical movie I saw her in, was 3:10 to Yuma. So she's actually done a lot of acting since then. I just didn't even realize it.
And I don't know that I've ever seen her in anything else.
I've seen her in other things. Like she was in, I would not rewatch this one. It was called The Hills Have Eyes, which was like a 2006 horror movie. She was in that.
Oh.
She was in, again, 3:10 to Yuma, which I do love that movie. That one's definitely on the list. And then Omri Katz played Max.
Okay.
And I first saw him, and I watched an episode the other day just to refresh my memory on it. I first saw him in a show called Erie, Indiana, which was kind of like a creepy, like this kid lives in a town and he figures out things weird about this town that he just moved to, which I thought was kind of odd because he kind of played that again.
Was this pre-Hocus Pocus?
Pre-Hocus Pocus. So he's like a little kid. Voice hasn't changed. He looks like he's probably like 10 or 11. So I always enjoyed that show. And so when I saw him again in this, when I rented it, I was like, oh, cool. It's the kid from Erie, Indiana. And then my favorite, the one that steals the show, in my opinion, Doug Jones as Billy.
Oh, okay.
And so the reason I have to...
Show stiller is the phrase that I would use.
I love him. He's done so much work like this. So I think like him and Ray Park, who played Darth Maul, are the guys that probably hold the record for like being in movies and no one ever recognizing them, because Doug Jones has been in a ton of movies, and just about every single movie he's in, he's covered in makeup and you don't see his face.
Fun.
Same thing for Ray Park, the guy that played Darth Maul. He's been in a ton of movies, and just about every movie he's in, his face is covered. So I just thought that was interesting about both of those guys. Really think it's interesting about Doug Jones. Like if you see him, which I watched some, behind the scenes stuff on this and like different, I watched a few minutes of the 25th reunion. I couldn't get into that one. But when he walked out, it's like, oh, I would not have even known. This guy could have walked by me at Walmart and I would have no clue who this guy was.
As the case with most voice actors too.
Yeah. But so the movie itself, did you know this? Did you know who auditioned for Max but turned it down?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He did.
I was right.
You were right. I don't know if you read my notes.
No, I didn't.
He turned it down to do Gilbert Grape.
Good call on his part.
It was a great call on his part. And I think we actually ended up winning on that. Because I think even though he kind of took a break from acting and left, I think Omri Katz is really good in this part.
I do. But I am going to say one thing for Leonardo DiCaprio. He is typecast. He plays he only does Oscar-worthy movies.
He's one of the best actors of our generation.
Exactly. So he only picks things like that. If you wanted to have a little fun, this would have been it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and he's done some...
saying his other movies weren't fun. I'm just saying...
Catch Me If You Can is a lot of fun. But... Catch Me If You Can is probably one of his most... Well, it's not... The story does get kind of dark, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun Spielberg movie. But everything I could find on these sisters, on the Sanderson sisters, they were not based off of real women.
No.
I mean, they were, you know...
The whole thing is based off of the Salem witch trials.
Right. And those things were very real. And so, I listened to a bunch of podcasts just about the Salem witch trials. And if you ever want to deep dive into some craziness of U.S. history, which was pre-U.S., I mean, because this was in the 1690s, like it was some of the weirdest 6 months.
I was about to say it was only like a 6-month span.
Yeah, it was really short. So if you really want to deep dive into something really strange, and like how mass hysteria can like just change a whole colony and a whole town and a whole area, like looking into the Salem witch trials is pretty crazy. We wouldn't even have time to dive into that. That would become its own podcast. But this movie actually did increase tourism to Salem because there's some spots that you can actually go see that are from the movie.
Yes, that's part of the sightseeing. And they actually have, like, you know how you can do those trolley tours in town? There's the Hocus Pocus trolley tours.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What do you know what else they have there as far as things you can see?
Well, there's Max's house, there's Allison's house, and then a lot of people use the pilgrim town that they have. It's not like actually from Salem Witch Trials, it's a replica. And I think some of like just a couple of things were shot there. But I think that's the only like two main ones.
Gotcha. Yeah, but this definitely bumped it, and it makes sense. Like anytime, I mean, if anything,
and Town Hall.
Okay,
Town Hall, because that's where the dance party happens. You can go there as well.
No, they did build. So most of this was filmed, I think, in California. They did build the house that the witches,
yes,
they built that. But I think they tore it down, unfortunately.
Bummer.
And the bummer part is, I do think like when he lights the candle, when Max lights the candle, and the lights
floorboards.
The floorboards are going up, and the green lights and everything. Like I just think that's so cool. When we talked about that with the Jurassic Park podcast and like things that Spielberg did. I just always think that's so cool
of not showing you what it is, but creating the fear.
Right. They were using their 93 special effects to the max that they could use them for. And even different things like when they were flying. I mean, you could definitely tell that the witches, they could only fly in one straight direction because they were on a harness. And if you look really close when she's holding Max up at the very end, if you can really see where his the harness is going up the jeans, like where he's probably, and he said that was very uncomfortable.
Yes. So, for listeners, weird fact about me, I used to do plays, and when I was 18, I was Peter Pan and Peter Pan, and we actually had a professional company come out and be able to make us fly. And the harnesses that they like put up and put you in these are these like really strong leather boards that go on your chest and your back, and so like, while you're being hoisted in the air, you have to create this straight posture the whole time because you ain't bending over in any way with these leather boards on either side of you.
That's funny. So original script for this, way darker.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are. Look at, the book Wicked is way darker. I'm pretty sure like Snow White was supposed to be way darker than what it originally was.
Probably. But in this, so the original script did not call for, like the three sisters are almost like a witch's version of the Three Stooges. Like they're very silly, and they run into each other.
They bring Mary and Sarah in for that comic relief.
100%. And they're all three great at what they're doing. Like Bette Midler or Winifred is great at being the, kind of straight one to be in charge, and Sarah is great at being kind of the dumb, silly one, the flirty one. And then Mary is great at being just kind of the goofy one. Yeah. But so like the original script though called for them to be darker, and they actually 8 kids in the original script. And the main kids were going to be 12 years old instead of like the 15 to 16 years old.
Sounds kind of like your movie that you love so much, The Witches.
Okay. Yeah. I absolutely hate that movie. The movie she's referring to is the Angelica Houston Witches movie. And if there's ever been a movie out there that I will never watch again and that I cannot stand, because that movie freaks me out as much or more than any movie that I've ever seen.
But didn't they eat children?
I think so. I don't know. I've seen
Pretty
it
sure
like
that
once
they
all the way
wanted to eat
through.
children. So this script kind of goes along with that.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
So it's already done.
Well, congratulations. I will not sleep tonight because that movie is brought back up to me. But yeah, they were going to be 12, so they were going to make them younger just to make it more perilous for them. Like where they were, just in more danger, and you felt more scared for the kids. They made them a little bit older to make them seem a little bit tougher. They made the sisters a little sillier to make it seem a little less scary. So they did all those things to make it more
Disneyize it.
They did. They Disneyfied it for sure. So I think you had some thoughts or some things about Mary's smile.
Yeah. So she decided at the last minute that she was going to add this crooked smile to her face.
The actress did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a last minute, like, to ugly, like, make herself more ugly. She decided at the last minute that she's going to throw in this, like, character trait for her character, and stuck with it. They liked it. She stuck with it.
So she chose to.
Yeah. She chose that herself.
Good for her. Yeah.
It got painful after a while.
Yeah.
And if you have seen Hocus Pocus 2, if you will notice,
which that movie is, that movie's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
As a Hocus Pocus fan, obviously I don't love it as much as the first one, but it didn't disappoint me.
The only thing that disappointed me, and if you have not seen Hocus Pocus 2 and you want to see it, turn it off for maybe 60 seconds. Or turn us down for maybe 60 seconds. The only thing that bugged me about the second one was they kind of made them out to be victims, and they kind of made them out to be like,
these poor witches that took all these children's souls.
Yes, let's not forget the fact that they were trying to kill kids here. But go ahead.
Anyways, so Mary, the woman who played her, could not do it on that side anymore. So they switched it. She switched sides of how she does that smile. And she actually talked about it, like, in an interview afterwards, because she knew fans were going to recognize it. And she was like, I'm sure the internet is going to go crazy over this, but there's no, like, amazing explanation. There's no character thing that's happening. It just hurt on the other side. So I switched it up for this movie.
Did they do a thing where they had, like, Winifred
I don't
Smacker
remember.
or anything?
I don't remember.
That would make sense. Like, they could do that.
Yeah, like there was some kind of explanation in the second.
Yeah, but they could make it work with the plot. And for some reason, I think I've only seen that one once.
Yeah.
Maybe twice, but if I watched it a second time, I probably wasn't paying that close attention.
Yeah.
And then I think you had some thoughts on Sarah getting all the potion or something.
Oh yeah. The whole point of this potion, like when they first get the potion from Binks's sister, when they suck her soul,
Thackeray Binks.
Yeah, Thackeray Binks. At the beginning, they suck up Emily Binks, and at the very beginning, they're really old. They're much more wrinkly. They're much more gray and stuff, and they're like, oh, "We're young." I think yes, really, that's the word. I'm pretty sure Sarah Jessica Parker sucked up all the beauty or the young potion, because, like, she looks way younger than her sisters, and, like, Winifred still has some, gray to her, and so does Mary.
Well, and they
were always willing to sacrifice her as well, like, poor Sarah.
Yeah. Well, she was definitely the guinea pig. Like, when they thought that the road was
a black river.
Yeah. They just threw her out there. Did they push her out when they thought the water? Well, when they thought the rain, like when he lit up the sprinkler system. For some reason, I think they pushed her out there too. So yeah, I mean, she was definitely the one that was the most expendable in their eyes.
She was, and
because Mary had a job. Well, no, they all three had big jobs, because Winifred was the one that would put together the potions, and she was their leader and talk to the book and all that stuff. Mary was the one that would smell out the kids,
sniff them out, and then Sarah's the one that lured them.
Yes.
Once again, her beauty brings them in.
Yep.
Power of persuasion.
Yep.
And let me just say, when I was a kid and you're watching this movie, I am a redhead, so obviously I was always going to be Winifred. Plus, I'm bossy, so that character was destined for me. But you wanted to be Sarah because power of persuasion. She was the cute one that everybody just thought was so beautiful and thought was funny. Mm-hmm. You wanted to be Sarah. But now that I'm an adult, I relate more to Mary.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
Everything
Yeah.
she does, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, girl.
Yeah. Well, and she even had some really good lines like, what would mother say or something. Like she's the one that would bring it back in when Winifred would get too
Yeah, and
upset.
she was like, "Thou's not being
Yes.
honest with thyself."
Yes, that's what it was. That was the line I was looking for. I couldn't
When they're
remember
doing their
what.
calming circle, because
Yes.
even witches need self-care.
Yes. Yes. And so this is our moment to talk about anxiety. Not really.
Get in our calming circle.
Yes.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah. So one cool thing about this, do you remember when they being the kids, they lure the witches into the kiln?
So glad we're going to talk about that because it's always bothered me.
Okay. Well, you go ahead and talk about that, and we'll talk about the scene that happened right after that, though. So what bothers you about the kiln?
Well, I don't understand why. So they put him in this, the pottery kiln at the high school, and you see like the witches obviously burn up in this fire because those things get like 3,000 degrees or something. But like you see their quote unquote spirit vapors or whatever go out the chimney. And then after the kids leave the school, they get like sucked right back down into the kiln, and then they can open the door all of a sudden. Why did that not kill them?
Well, to me, the reason why I didn't kill them is the same reason, like when Binks got ran over by the car, the bus, or whatever.
Because of the flame. Well, that's not Binks's. Binks's until...
They were being protected by magic.
Yeah, they were being protected by the black flame candle.
Yes, and the sisters had 1 day.
Yeah.
So they couldn't be killed by any conventional means, that would be like a conventional.
So even if these kids had like hit them with a car and all that kind of stuff, it wouldn't have.
They would have just gotten right back up.
Okay.
Based off of the way that scene worked out, and based off of Binks getting ran over and popping back up, I would say they would. If you ran over them with a car, they just get right back up.
Okay.
I think they were protected by the spell that was cast over them that brought them back.
Okay.
And they only had 1 day, like they said, to fulfill that. Not promise, but to fulfill that.
To live forever.
Yes. But right after that, when they're celebrating, which I remember being a kid, I always thought the movie was over right then. Like when they're celebrating in the field, there's a fountain in the background.
Of the field?
Yes, there's a fountain in the background of the field. Can you guess what fountain that is?
No.
That is the Friends fountain.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah. Wow. What do you mean, why?
Like, why is it there?
It's a field that has a fountain in it.
What field has a fountain?
It's a normal, like, park area field.
Oh, it's not a field.
Yeah. Sorry. No, wrong word.
Okay, I'm thinking of like, I'm not like in the field.
No, I'm not talking about a meadow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in my head when you say
I'm sorry.
field.
I'm sorry. Okay.
In the town square area.
In the square, in the park that's outside there.
Did they just pull it off the lot of Friends and they just put it on this one?
No, this was pre-Friends.
Oh.
This was before Friends. This was probably filmed in 92, released in 93. Friends didn't start till 94.
So was Friends like, we want that fountain from Hocus Pocus?
I don't know. I doubt it. It was probably just out there on the lot, and then they used it.
Cool.
Because the Friends fountain, spoiler alert on the Friends fountain, not in New York. Like if you go looking for it in New York, it's not there. It's in California. But I just thought that was really neat because I noticed the fountain in the background. I looked it up and I was like, yes, this is great. This is why we do the podcast. But all right. A little bit of movie magic ruined here.
Ugh.
There was not many scenes filmed between the kids and the sisters. Like if you
them together?
Yes. If you really pay attention, a lot of the scenes where the sisters are up like on their broom or they weren't even together. Like they didn't even have to be on set that day. And so like Vanessa Shaw was talking about how her most nervous day of shooting was the day when they were doing, when she does the salt around the grave. And
she also does it in the bedroom.
Yeah, because she was talking about how that was one of the only days where she was actually filming with the sisters. And she was talking about that was like one of the most nerve-wracking days.
And the sisters' cabin as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they filmed together, but there was a lot of the movie. And if you pay attention, a lot of the movie doesn't even put them together.
Yeah, you're right.
Like a lot of the scenes, they're not even really
because they're chasing them.
Yes. And apparently, like, Bette Midler had her own trailer, like big trailer off to itself. And then the other two sisters, they got to know them a little bit more, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy, because their trailers were like all in the same
Interesting.
section. Yeah. Bette Midler was getting that star treatment, that
Yeah, she
Sylvester
was.
Stallone treatment. But so that's just like some of those things I hate learning about because it's like kind of like ruins. But movie magic restored. So
Right.
I don't want to ruin movie magic. Movie magic restored. So you remember the scene when Doug Jones or when Billy cuts open his mouth
Yeah.
and the moths fly out?
It wasn't moths, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like cotton in his mouth or something.
Real
Dust.
You thought dust flew out of his mouth with his wings?
I didn't think it flew. I thought he'd like,
Yeah,
and it came out.
No, there's moth, and those were real moths.
Nuh-uh.
So they had like this. They had this thing. He had a rig with a pocket in it that had live moths, and he could blow them out. And so
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he would
He
cough.
is dedicated.
He was very dedicated. If you saw, like, again, if you go and look up Doug Jones and some of the movies he's been in and the makeup he's had to put on, that guy is dedicated to his craft. I just thought that was
It's
insane.
my kind of people right there.
Yeah. Which made me all the happier that he was my favorite character. I was
Yeah.
like, man, glad I attached myself to Billy. But now you were talking about something about Bette Midler, and she has a...
Oh yeah, so she has a so Bette Midler has a charity, whatever. The New York Restoration Project. When she moved back to New York in '95, which is after this, she realized how much trash was on the streets of New York and how gross it was getting. And this is like, early '90s still, so it was really bad then.
No.
So they wanted to clean up the streets and create green spaces for people across New York City. And so she created New York Restoration Project. And as a fundraiser for this, she created I think 95 is the earliest mention of it, but she created Halloween. And this is like one of the biggest parties in New York for Halloween. She still hosts it. I think this year's like the 30th anniversary of it. And we're talking like big name celebrities are there, including Sarah Jessica Parker.
That's really cool.
She actually goes. And there's like a theme every year of like what your costume should be like. And Bette Midler herself has been Winifred at the event like 2 or 3 times. And this is not like some junk change kind of fundraiser.
So.
Like the starting price, I looked it up to get a table.
We going?
Yeah, we are. If we were rich, because just to get a ticket is $3,000. And like the tables are like about $100,000. And so, I mean, it's amazing what she's done with it though. Because I think they said that they own like 50 different parks in New York or something like that, or green spaces that they've created for the communities.
Not fields. No,
definitely not fields. Much smaller than that. But I feel like when she created this, she was like, you know what, I'm going to bank off this Hocus Pocus situation and go to town on it. And she did. Yeah. She banked on it.
It's a good bank. It's a good thing to bank on. So there was a 2018 book that came out that was kind of like a sequel to this. And the second part, it's about Max and Allison's daughter.
Oh,
so they
we're gonna
did
go that route.
Yes, in their story, like the continuation of this, their story, Poppy and her friends. Their daughter's name was Poppy, and her friends. No, there's somebody out there named Poppy.
No, I like the name Poppy. I'm laughing at the story.
Oh, okay.
This is like Crucible Child, where Harry Potter and Ginny Weasley's kids, and then Ron Weasley and Hermione's kids get together and go to the school.
That's what they were doing. Like. That's what they were doing, yeah. But obviously they did not make that canon because in the second movie, I think that's not the first time the sisters came back since the first movie. And so in this story, they would have come back. That would have been the third time, if that makes sense. So I don't think that's like official in the canon, but there was a book written.
Okay.
And one thing you talked about was the amount of Nike that is used in this movie.
Yes. So I don't know if Nike was a sponsor of this movie, but the costume and prop people really endorsed it because something that's timeless is Max's, coming from Hollywood, he's wearing Nike Air is what those are. This is Nike Air on them. And, those are still popular today.
Yeah.
They're, still really expensive.
Still doing it.
And that's the shoe that the teen bullies steal from him, and then he eventually steals back for himself. Also, when they get their plan back of how they're going to get Danny, and they're bringing their salt and their bats and whatever to the graveyard, it's a Nike bag that he puts all his supplies in.
Yeah.
So I was like, are they endorsing this movie?
Prominent use of Nike.
Yes.
Good brand to attach yourself to. So, couple of what I'm going to call Jason Bourne too many holes in the sweater, plot holes. Because if you listen to the Bourne Identity, he had too many bullet holes in that sweater that did not add up to the amount of bullet holes in his back.
Okay.
So that's the movie mistake that was there. So Winifred, you spotted this one. Winifred pulling
He's
Max.
driving down the road, and Winifred is on her broom and comes up to him on the driver and says, "Hey, kid, do you have a driver's permit?" And then when he like tries to swerve at her, she was like, "That's a charge of," she says something like, "That's resisting arrest."
Yeah.
How would she know what those things are? They went around during her time, and she hasn't been back in 300 years.
Yeah, that was a good catch. Because, in 1693, they were not pulling people over.
I don't think you had to have a license to do a buggy.
Another fact check. No, you wouldn't have. But so another one, now I did not go back, and I meant to go back and check this one. You were talking about how Billy, when his fingers got mashed.
Yeah, he sticks his head out of the sewer lid and his hands, and then somebody accidentally is like a car is coming at him, so he ducks down, but he doesn't get his fingers out in time, and the sewer lid chops off his fingers. I think he screams.
Yeah, I think so.
We can fact check that too.
Yeah.
So if he screams during that, why does he not scream when he's in the graveyard and gets his head kicked off? And they're like,
that's what I meant to go back and check. I meant to go back and check if he did make any kind of grunt, because then his mouth was still sewn shut, so it'd been more like a grunt. But it could be a couple of reasons. Maybe his vocal cords were not attached where he could scream.
Obviously they are. He talks later.
No, I'm talking about when the head got knocked off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it may have been something to do with that.
Good point.
Yeah. Or it could have just been a movie mistake.
Yeah.
Which happens. So before we move into a little bit of a Halloween section, I did want to mention, before we get too far, Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall.
Yeah, it's weird. Brother and sister playing a married couple.
Yes. So if you don't remember, they were the couple that he was the devil, like dressed up as Satan, and she had the curlers in her hair, and the girls thought that she was Medusa. And so like that was Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall, brother and sister.
Didn't you tell me that they called her Medusa? I didn't even pick up on that. With the curlers. I just thought they were curlers. I didn't pick up that they thought she was Medusa.
Yeah. And so like they did such a great, I mean, they were only in the movie for maybe like 3 or 4 minutes and did such an awesome job in those 3 or 4 minutes. And they were so funny.
Smoke in houses.
Well, and like the two of them, like there's no way we could even get on to like a rant on Gary Marshall and Penny. Like
they're cinema royalty.
They are. Gary Marshall directed a ton of great movies, Pretty Woman being one of them. He had a great part in A League of Their Own. So like just both of them, I mean, she was in Laverne and Shirley. They both just ton of good content that you can find on either one of them and stuff that they worked on. So could not let the podcast like finish out without at least talking about them for a second. But the Halloween section. So I listened to some podcasts on the history of Halloween.
Okay.
And like mainly like how it pertains to the US, not just in the world. But modern trick-or-treating, like we know it, became popular like in the 20s and then died down because of World War II, sugar rations, those kind of things. But it resurged in the 50s. Which makes sense. And that's kind of where, it's still where it's at, and it just gets more popular every year. Has Scottish and Irish roots. It dates all the way back to the 15th century with what was called guising, which is really interesting, where people would go around and visit for soul cakes, like SOUL cakes, which were like shortbread biscuits, like, and they had a song that went with it, like, and all this stuff.
So it's like the trick or treat smell my feet.
Yeah. It was, so it was very similar, but it would, like, I don't know if it was just kids. I mean, that's something I'll have to check. But I think
people
it was
were hungry. I'm betting adults too.
I think it was full families. But did you know that Halloween accounts for 18% of yearly annual candy sales.
I would think that was more than that.
Yeah. But October is number one. Like it's the number one month.
Is Valentine's Day number 2?
So February is number 4.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Easter.
March is number 3.
Okay. So that leaves number 2. Christmas?
December is number 2. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, we do sell a ton of candy at Christmas. And not that I sell candy. I mean, just we as a society.
Yes.
But
I don't know. Have you seen the prices of candy this year? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids ain't getting no candy.
Yes, I plan on handing out a Tootsie Roll, and that's it. Like,
you got your one.
First kid that walks up. No. I just mean like buying one Snickers bar and just be like, here you go.
I'm done.
Yeah. But so speaking of that, though, top Halloween candy sales, like the top ones that sell the most, like for an example, like Three Musketeers.
Snickers.
So I found the top 5.
Okay, I'm ready.
5 is Snickers.
Oh.
Let's see how far you can go without getting one wrong. I'll give you a hint. They're all
M&Ms.
chocolate. Okay, M&Ms are number 3.
Twix.
Twix are not on the top 1.
Reese's Cups.
Number 1,
Okay.
which makes sense.
Milky Way.
Nope. We won't go too far. Number 4 is Kit Kat.
Really?
Yep, that wouldn't surprise me too. And number 2 is peanut M&Ms. Now these were the top 5 according to Instacart. So one again were Reese's, 2 peanut M&Ms, 3 regular M&Ms, 4 Kit Kat, and 5 Snickers. I thought that was an interesting list. There was 0 fruity candies at the top. I think Sour Patch was actually the top, like non-chocolate. Oh, I love Sour Patch Kids. Those things are great. But so that was the first non-chocolate candy, or the highest one. But just thought that was interesting. I would not have guessed Reese's as number 1, but once I read it, I was like, that makes complete sense.
Let me tell you what else is interesting about this. If you go to any like school Halloween function, everything has to be peanut free.
Yeah.
So I find that just very interesting that those are still the number 1s with the high intensity of peanut allergies that we have now.
True. People ain't worried about it.
I guess.
I love a payday. Talking about a peanut candy, like that one's great. So the next section, we're going into some competitions for the movie.
I love competitions.
Yes. So one of these I'm going to let you read, but for this one, worst moment for Max, because he had a lot of bad moments in this movie. If you have any off the top of your head, you can go, or let me start, and then you tell me if you have one.
I have one.
Okay, what you got?
I mean, let me put my faith out there. As a Christian, this is not a bad thing.
Yes.
But how embarrassing for him. Over and over and over again, as it pointed out, that he is a virgin.
Yeah.
And that this is all his fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's such a bad thing to everybody. It is not.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing.
But that is embarrassing for him in front of his girlfriend.
Well, it's not even his girlfriend.
The girl
the way it's portrayed in the movie, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's
you
something
be proud of that, Max.
Yes, agreed. But yeah, I did have on there when he lights the candle and it works. Like that.
Yeah.
That was a bad moment for him.
Like even the cop calling him
in
out
the context of this movie, that was a bad moment for him.
Like even Binks is talking bad about him at the end of it.
Yes.
To Emily.
I think when he's called a little leaguer by his sister in front of the guys at school, that's a rough moment for Max. When his shoes are stolen.
Yeah.
Rough moment for Max. I mean, Max gets beat up quite a bit in this movie, not physically. When Vanessa literally hands him back his own phone number.
I don't remember. Oh, at school?
Yes. He gives her the number when he's flirting with her. And he thinks that after school that she gives him, when she walks away in her Red Riding Hood thing, and when she's wearing the red hood, he gives her back, or she gives him back his own note.
Who else wanted to see Max, though, just as Peter Pan next year with tights?
Yeah. That's the sequel we all need. And then the other, like, this is just a low moment for Max, like, on the moral standpoint. You mentioned this, when he leaves the bullies behind.
Yeah, like, that's brutal. Like, the bullies are in the cage. They're being tortured by the witches. He takes his shoes back and he leaves them in the cage. Like, that's savage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about Jay and Ice, or Ernie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what else is timeless, getting ice shaved on the back of your head.
Now that stamps it in time. Like that puts it in the early 90s. Gosh, I mean, I think, probably the most embarrassing moment for him is, being handed back the number.
Yeah.
Like that's just pretty rough.
And then he's had this rough day, like the girl being, rejecting him, getting his shoes stolen. And then he goes home and his parents are wondering why he's so upset. And then they make him take his sibling trick-or-treating. Like,
Yeah.
you feel bad for him.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Favorite talking animal.
Well, there's
They
only
can
one
talk
in
to
this movie.
they can talk to humans. No. I never limit it to one.
Oh,
movie.
okay. So
Yeah,
just
that's what
like,
makes it fun.
oh, Donkey with Shrek.
So I've got Binks on here. I've got Donkey. You've got Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
You've
Well,
got
he didn't. I mean,
no. He talked to Shaggy.
okay.
You got Baloo in the Jungle Book. He
Oh, yeah.
He talked to Mowgli.
And so did his the Black Panther thing too.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the Panther's name. But Baloo's the fan favorite.
Yes.
Like as far as that was like his best friend.
Well, I'm still gonna go with Donkey.
Yeah. Well, there's more.
Oh, okay.
Doug in Up.
Oh, good one.
In a sneaky way of talking too. Remember, he had the collar that allowed him to
did
talk.
it for him because all of them did.
And then one near and dear to my heart, Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, Trash Panda.
Yeah. So my favorite talking animal, for me, it comes down between Donkey and Rocket, but I'm going with Rocket.
And I'll go with Donkey, but I totally.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. We are in sync.
Yes. Now, this one's just for you.
Okay.
If you could play any of the witches in this movie, like this movie, let's say you were cast in this movie, you got to play any of the three sisters, which part would you want to play?
Well, as I said, like as a kid, redhead and bossy, I was always Winifred.
Right.
But you wanted to be Sarah, but now I relate most to Mary.
No.
But
So is that the
doesn't-
part you'd want to play?
No,
the most?
I relate to her the most. She would be fun, but I'm still going to stick with Winifred because
She would be the most
it's
fun.
marvelous.
Yes. Yeah. She definitely, like if somebody could like chew up scenery, she definitely chews up the scenery in these movies. Like she definitely goes full force into it, like over the top.
And probably my favorite scene of her, because I'm a musical nerd, when she gets to sing, I Put a Spell on You.
That and that is one of the.
I want to go to a ball like that.
Well, and so like they talked about that scene. So Kenny Ortega, the director, they said that's when he really got the most excited was doing that scene, was because
like,
he's a choreographer and that's what he's into.
Like all the costumes, all the dancing, and that was just a great band that they had playing before. Do you think that Mary and Sarah actually did backup singing?
Do you mean Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think in that scene.
Because I know that obviously Bette Midler did.
Yeah.
I know her voice. That's definitely
that's her voice.
And Sarah Jessica Parker definitely did her own singing when she does the Come Little Children. So I'm curious if that was them actually singing as backup singers.
It didn't. If they
I'm
were,
going to go no.
I lean towards no. Now in the second one, they did a lot more singing, and you could tell it was actually them. The second one, they leaned way more into the musical aspect
Obviously.
of it. And even during the closing credits, like they did a song where it showed all three of them, like with the headphones on, like we've got on, and singing into the microphones and all that stuff. So, so they definitely leaned more into the musical thing.
And maybe that's why I'm still picking Winifred.
Yeah.
And plus, I just look good in green.
So you're going with Winifred.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So this one gets a little interesting, and I'm going to hand you the iPad for a second because you're going to use it. So this is going to be called the best line read. So you get to read the lines. I'm not saying you have to do it the best, but if you remember these lines, do you see it on there?
Yes.
So if you remember those lines, if you don't remember how they said them,
I got it.
Not a big deal, but go ahead.
Away, beast!
So that's one of the lines that's in competition. That was Thackeray and Emily's dad at the very beginning when Binks like Thackeray's trying to tell him something and he's talking to the cat. And when he says away beast like that, I love that every time. But go ahead. What's the next?
It makes me think of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Yep, there's that one. And there's two versions of that. You could read it as Max because he says it.
Yes, he does.
And then there's also Winifred
Obviously,
saying.
I'm going to read it as Winifred.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
For your information, he's a little eager.
Yes, I love. For some reason, that line just sticks. I think it's so funny. What's the next?
Because
one?
you found it embarrassing.
Yes.
Bubble, bubble, I'm in trouble.
That guy does. He's in the movie maybe 60 seconds. The bus driver.
Himself memorable.
He did.
With all his hitting on lines.
Yes. Like
he had the book.
Yeah. He was so good at the 60 seconds that he was given. And that was my favorite line that he said. So what's the next one?
Amuck, 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 amuck.
Yes. That was by far my favorite Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, I love that she saw the bugs.
Yeah,
her lucky rat tail.
Yeah, I mean, I love all that, but I'm saying like that was my favorite line that she did, or her part of the movie.
I smell children.
That was a good one too, and I tried to include at least one line from each sister. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
Oh, look, another glorious morning makes me sick.
Which was our opening line for this podcast. And for me, the winner in that's the last one, isn't it?
Nope.
Is there one more? Okay,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
There was that one.
That's my favorite.
Yes. So there were so many lines that were just over the top in this movie. And like they just kind of overacted these scenes a little bit. And some of it was being fun, right? Like they were like
I think the two most famous though are it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. And
Omri Katz said people stop him on the street to say that. Like they asked him to say that to them. Yeah.
And then
the guy that plays Max, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. And what oh, look, another glorious morning. It makes me sick. You can find that on coffee mugs everywhere.
Yeah. But so you're going with which one?
My favorite line?
Yeah, what's your favorite line read? Not just favorite line, but like favorite line.
Oh, look, another glorious morning.
There you go. Mine is Away Beast. Every time he says that.
Say to animals when they get too close to you.
Every time he says that, like, please, if you don't want to go back and rewatch this movie, if you don't want to visit it again, just go back and watch like the first 7 or 8 minutes to see that scene. And that guy cracks me up every time. He's not meaning to. It's an unintentional.
Are you going to start doing that to cats?
I want to now. Because after watching this, however many times I've watched over the past week and a half, like that sticks out to me every time. And it always has. Like, it's always been funny to me. All right. So let's see here. What was your favorite moment of the sisters not being in 1693 anymore? Like, if you could think of, like, they thought that the road was a river.
I do love that. And then they're very confused by it.
Mm-hmm.
The trick-or-treaters. Mm-hmm. But I think one thing that I love watching them do would have been totally normal, probably. And what year did you say? 1863?
1693.
Sorry, 1693.
That's where they came back from, yeah.
Yes. May have been totally normal in 1693, but the way that they walk as a trio, side to side like that, if that wasn't concerning for parents as they were taking their children trick-or-treating, seeing women like that.
No, that should be. But you're also talking about even before this movie, Salem has always been a huge Halloween place.
Yes.
And so it probably wouldn't be that odd if we went there for Halloween and to see people walking around, even adults dressed up and acting crazy. And not crazy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Doing like Halloween type stuff.
I take away I know what my favorite is when they go to the bus. When they get the bus and it stops. What is this contraption?
Yes. Yeah. No, so like that's one of them. I mean, I love when they think that the sprinkler system.
Death water.
Yes. Is the, rain of death or whatever they call it. Death rain. I love that scene. I love when they go to the bus. What is this contraption? The road.
When Mary sees TV for the first time and the baby.
The whole house. Like
they think that these are torture.
Yes.
The kitchen is the torture chamber.
Yes, that whole scene. Like, so I would actually go with that house. Like that whole house scene cracks me up mainly because Penny Marshall and Gary Marshall being in it, and like when she comes down, he's dancing with Sarah Jessica Parker
once again,
and like you said, Mary sitting there watching the baby, running through, like that whole scene is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, if not my favorite scene in the movie, with especially featuring the sisters, but much less them being out of time. Because that's always a fun thing to watch. Is like, like I'll reference Back to the Future 1,000 times, but it's always fun to watch movies where someone is placed out of their element. And like so, they're placed 300 years out of their element.
yes,
The way they talk, thou art being true to thyself, like things like that. And so my favorite scene of that was Gary the trick or treating house.
one thing, it was when you said that line to that, or be true, being honest with thyself, the way they talk. I know we already talked about Hocus Pocus 2 for, just a few seconds. Yeah. And once again, it's not one of my favorites. I wasn't disappointed.
It's worth watching.
But if you are not, if you are a Hocus Pocus fan, those first 20 minutes where they're showing the Winifred or the
Sanderson
sisters as teenagers or as girls, those girls who play the Sanderson sisters were amazing.
Yeah, they did a good job.
They did such a good job acting just like them, and they're how they talk and everything. Perfect.
No, I need to watch.
You don't even have to watch the rest of the movie. Just watch that part.
Yeah. I would like to watch it again. It's been a couple of years. I think when it first came out. I think it came out in 22. I think I watched it that year, and that's the only time I really paid attention to it. But best 5 minutes of a duo, and I narrowed it down to 2 because there's
You said Gary and Penny Marshall, right?
Gary and Penny Marshall, but there's also Jay and Ice.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Jay and Ice.
I can't fake now and steer away from Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall because they're the winners for me.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Jay and Ice.
They're great. Like they're absolutely great. Like they're a few minutes.
Where are their parents?
Yeah. And the fact that they were left out, it was 3:00 in the morning and they're still out there. Yeah. These kids needed some.
Well, and his mother let him carve ice and head back in his head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so for me, Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall win that category. For you, Jay and Ice or
yes.
Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie.
Don't call him Ernie though. It's Ice. So favorite scene from the movie, and then we're going to get to our Mount Rushmore. So there's a lot of really good scenes when the sisters first show back up after Max lights the candle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an awesome scene when, they first kind of introduce themselves to Danny and, they're trying to figure out why she's there, how they got back, all that stuff. And then they escape, the kids escape. Then there's the scene, obviously we've talked about this, trick-or-treating scene at, the fake devil's house.
I know
Gary
which
Marshall,
my favorite
Penny
scene
Marshall's.
is. And I've kind of already said it. The musical scene where she gets to sing and put a spell on all of them.
That's what I was going to say. The parents' Halloween party.
And they think that Billy is just an amazing costume and she wishes she had her camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're going with that. And then I'm going to go, I'm sticking with.
You're sticking with your Gary and Penny Marshall.
Gary Marshall's great. He's funny. All right. So the Mount Rushmore. We're not doing any of the actors. We're not doing the director. This is a totally different type. This is what makes you think of ABC Family's 13 Nights of Halloween.
Adam Family.
Okay. So you're 4. Adam's Family is one of yours.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
What? I don't know the name of it, but the one where the boy has the ghost dog. Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because these don't have to be your favorite. They're just the ones that make you think of ABC's third. So Frankenweenie.
Adam's Family.
Adam's Family. What else?
Oh, yeah.
Is this not one of them?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No. Oh, this is going to bug me, though. Harry Potter.
Okay.
Even though they do it just like...
Harry Potter annoys me with the way they try to they're like...
ABC Family does it. They play it off as a Halloween and a Christmas
There's
movie.
no longer even an ABC Family. Now it's Freeform.
Yeah.
But yeah... Harry Potter, they're like trying to force it as a Christmas movie
Yes.
sometimes. I do think of it more as a Halloween movie,
Yeah.
but I really don't even think of it as either one.
No.
Like, I think of it as just a movie. I could watch it in
But there's only
April.
one, I think, in all those movies, I think that there's only one time that they actually celebrate Halloween. But every movie has a Christmas scene.
Like 60 seconds.
Yes, they're small.
Yeah.
But I'm betting that's the reason.
Yeah.
But anyways, Harry Potter would be on there, and then
Okay.
probably Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, maybe Edward Scissorhands.
Okay. See, Edward Scissorhands, I think of more just like a wintertime movie, just because of all the snow and everything, especially on the cover of the movie.
Yeah.
But so here are my outside looking in. You know, I love doing an outside looking in. These are the movies that almost made the cut for me as far as thinking of ABC's, 13 Nights of Halloween. E.T., because they show it quite a bit then. Plus, E.T. has one of the best trick-or-treating scenes.
Think about that.
Yeah, like E.T.'s dressed up as the ghost. I love that whole part. Casper, if you remember that one, the 90s one with Christina Ricci. The Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
Yes. Forgot about the sea.
Yep. Goonies
Nah.
and Ghostbusters are also
Oh,
ones that
But does ABC Family show Ghostbusters?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
And so that's why.
Oh, Beetlejuice.
So my four that made my list of actual, like, these are the ones that make me think of. These are the Mount Rushmore when I think of ABC's, 13 Nights of Halloween, Hocus Pocus, Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas, Addams Family. Like, those are the four for me. Any other thoughts on Hocus Pocus?
Yes, I do. I feel like there's a moral of the story.
I have that last.
Okay.
There's definitely a life lesson to be learned from Winifred.
Winifred could have been young and beautiful and lived forever had she not been so selfish.
100%. Prideful. It's more prideful.
Yes,
It's
let's
more
go with that
prideful,
word.
yeah.
If she hadn't have been so prideful, she wanted to get Danny because Danny called her ugly. And even her sister Sarah tried to say, but we have all these children because she had already lured them in. She could have had those children and had everything that she wanted, but she had been too prideful.
Yep.
So there's a moral to the story.
Pride comes before the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one bugged me I don't remember when I picked up on that. It was a few years ago we were watching it, and I was like, she could have just.
Yeah.
Because they already
taken care of
lured
Danny later.
Well, they already had, Sarah had already done her song. All the kids were there. They could have just done, their potion thing that they were trying to do and lived to find another day and then go find Danny. That's what I didn't understand.
But once again, here we are rooting for the witches.
I'm not rooting for them.
We were saying how they could have won.
Yeah, I'm saying their logic was off. I mean, it worked out for the best. I don't root for the witches,
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope that everyone has enjoyed this. If you have a chance, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This episode is actually brought to you by Morris Homes. And you can reach Shannon Morris at 423-260-9086 if you're in the Chattanooga area and you're looking for a home.
If you don't call, we can't help.
That's right. They can't help if you don't call. So give them a call and for all your realtor needs. But I hope everyone has an awesome Halloween and enjoys it, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you.